Coach, can you just take us through the decision to sit Trey Ford and start Cody Fajardo?
Yeah, simple answer. Football team's looking for a spark. That's why we made the quarterback change.
And what do you think Cody brings to the lineup that maybe Trey was lacking for your offense?
Uh, you know, they're two different guys. I mean, first and foremost, Trey wasn't the sole reason why our football team is where it is, and I wanted that to be clear. I mean, there's 11 other guys on the field with him. We expect them all to execute and perform. But Cody is, he's a veteran presence. He's seen, all the looks that there is to see. He brings a little bit of a different energy, and the offense looks a little bit different when he's running it.
Can you explain the levels that this went to in terms of what went into this decision? Because it seemed like Larry liked Trey Ford a lot. You guys gave Trey Ford that starting quarterback kind of money too.
Yeah, I mean, we still like Trey Ford too. Let's be really clear with that. And this is not the end of Trey Ford. This is, I mean, he's one play away from playing again. We are going to continue to develop Trey Ford. Trey has things that he needs to work on that he knows that we've communicated, and we're going to commit to developing those things. I think it was more of we did a deep dive into our football team of things that we wanted to do better or look different, and we set up the week the way we did with them competing, and ultimately we made the call to make the change.
The quarterback split a bunch of reps throughout the week here. Do you think that maybe is a hindrance to them that they didn't get full reps this week, Cody?
Well, I mean, Cody would take 400 reps if he could. You know what I mean? And that's that. I like that player wants to be selfish in his development that way. You know what I mean? But the other thing about that is, those guys were complete professionals with the way that we set the week up, and they deserve all the props for handling it the way they did. They were supportive of each other. Obviously each one would want to have more reps, but that's the way it shook out.
You said the team needs to find a spark. What have you seen this week that you think your team does find it here in Saskatchewan?
I challenged the guys early in the week. We really wanted to up the level of competition in practice. We wanted to up the level of urgency in practice, and we put 3 days back to back to back, but we've got to carry it forward into this game.
How nice is it to have Ceresna in the lineup here?
The dude is, I mean, everyone knows he's a good football player, but he is the motor that drives that defensive line, and I mean, the fact that he's playing, I mean, the guy is just a beast. He practices full speed. When he's, we had to pull him back this week, to try to make sure he got to the game. And I just, it's just a credit to him and the type of player that he is.
Can you take us through what it's been like for you in your first year as a head coach and then having to make a decision like this so early?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, from a personal standpoint, I'm just embodying this 24/7. You know what I mean? So I'm all in all the time. Everything I do is I think about what's the best direction for the football team, and how at my station, how can I help facilitate that? So I mean, making a decision with the magnitude of this, I mean, it's the decision that had to be made, and it's part of my job, and I'm comfortable with the decision just as far as our process was going into it.
Behind the scenes, how does that shake down? Do you call Trey into your office and tell him what's going on, or
Yeah, I mean, I'm honest and transparent with the players 24/7. I want to look them in the eyes with everything that we do, and it wasn't just like happening this week. Over the course of the weeks, we were, hey, let's work on this. We need to get better at these things, and that's always ongoing. And then when we decided to do it, I brought them in first thing in the morning on the day A and told them what the plan was, and we attacked it that way.
You're going against one of your coaching buddies here, in Corey Mace. What's that like for you? He beat you to being a head coach by 1 year. There's a lot of people I don't think would have bet on. But what's that relationship like, and then how do you try to match wits against him?
I love Corey Mace. He's a brother of mine. He's going to be, when this football stuff's all said and done, I'm still going to be his brother. And I love that guy to death. I love his family. Competing against him is just, it's exciting. I'll hug him for real before the game and after the game, and in between the 60 minutes that we're playing, we're just trying to win, and that's just business.
What's Corey Mace like behind the scenes as a coach? Because he doesn't share much.
Well, then I'm not going to share it either.
Can you give us any little story that comes to mind? Even when he was developing as a coach, when you two were together in Calgary.
Well, when he was playing in Calgary, I was coaching him, And then he was always hurt, so he became Coach Mace, helping the guys while he's like walking around in a boot and stuff. There's actually a picture, in an old school picture, like that was in the paper, of Corey and I standing together. He's in the boot, and we're holding like coaching sheets or something. But he was always that type of guy, very cerebral, obviously very personable. Coaching was such a natural transition for him because he's a leader, and he was already doing those things well on his way to becoming a really good coach.
Could you see head coach qualities in him early on?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, everyone would probably define them differently, but the guy always had a presence, and you need to have that if you want to be a head coach. And, he's also taken advantage of every opportunity that he's had. When he became the D-line coach, he was an excellent D-line coach, then he became an excellent defensive coordinator. Obviously, he's been successful everywhere he's gone, and it's the same story now.
You mentioned that presence, and it seems like you guys share some similarities. You talk about family, or you talk about wanting to be direct with the players. He does those types of things. Do you have similar coaching styles, but also how are you different?
Yeah, I mean, I've never, I don't know what he's coaching like now, so I mean, I can just refer to him when he was a defensive line coach, because that's when we worked together. But, I think, both of us are good humans. And, I think that we're trying to be authentic and genuine. And I think that those characteristics are relatable to players. And then, once you have that, your style becomes your own style, and you kind of build from there.
You have a young coach under you, and J.C. Sherritt is your defensive coordinator, giving up the most points in the league so far through, I think, the first 5 games. How do you try to coach him with all the years' experience that you have to help him out?
Yeah, I mean, part of my job, first of all, is this jacket wool? Because I am sweating. It's 100 degrees in here. But, part of my job is to coach the coaches. And, I try to offer them suggestions. I sit in their meetings. If we're out on the field, I'm watching walkthrough. If there's something I need to say to him, I'll, when he's done whatever he's doing, I'll mention it. Because that's part of my job. It's to kind of cultivate the messaging. And I want them to be themselves, but throughout the messaging of whatever way we're trying to go. And, they've had their struggles. We came off the bye. Those guys were working every single day in there, did a deep dive. The thing about JC is the guy is all about ball. So he will find answers. He cares about it. If I can help guide him, try to find some of those answers, I will.
There's a lot of talent on that defense. You guys brought in a bunch of Canadians and Jake Ceresna and free agency. It's just a matter of them all coming together because it's a bunch of new pieces plus a new coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. That's definitely one of them. We've got to get off the field on second down. I mean, you just look at our last game, which was our poorest performance. I mean, our offense had 34 snaps, our defense had 76 or something like that. So, I mean, those are things, that we need to do as a defense to help our football team. I think if we've always stated that we are a 3-phase football team, so we want the other phases to help lift each other up. That means the defense has to get the ball back to the offense so that they can stay on the field. The offense got to, drive down the field, get some points to take some of the pressure off the defense, force opponents to become more one-dimensional. So there's, and then special teams is the glue between both those phases. So I think, we've got to play better as a football team, and I think when we do that, our defense will statistically be better.
The Elks played much better here as a football team last year in a similar situation. Came in 0-7, put up over 40, got their first win of the season in a hostile environment, on the road, loud place. Can it be a catalyst in a way where you guys got to come together to get this done at a Mosaic Stadium that's expected to be packed?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, first of all, it's a great atmosphere that you want to be a part of. You want to play in those type of stadiums, those type of atmospheres. I think you feed off the energy. But it definitely can. They're a really good football team that's, at the front of the standings and at the front of the stats in just about every category. So, I mean, if we, those type of games, yeah, you want to raise your level of play, but you're right, it can, that would be the hope that it could bring your group together.
Do you have any contact with Corey Mace this week?
Yeah, I texted him that I'm not going to his house for dinner because I tore my hamstring covering a kickoff in practice yesterday. So I'm just going to take it easy tonight. That's literally what it was. That was all.
On the trainer's table.
Yeah, I didn't want to show any weakness, so I didn't get on the trainer's table. But I didn't miss any reps. I just continued coaching the period after that. So, true story. Thanks, guys.